Republican running for lieutenant governor in Rhode Island, Aaron Guckian. Aaron, thanks for coming in. You and I know each other. You were with Governor Carcieri. You were his advance man?
Yes, I was. I was a special assistant to Governor Carcieri and First Lady, did the day-to-day operations, and it was just a wonderful job, and I had met so many great people across Rhode Island.
And obviously your interest in politics continues. You want to be lieutenant governor. Let's get the tough stuff out of the way. Some people say we don't need a lieutenant governor. It's $1 million budget a year, basically, for the person to just sit and wait for the governor to fill the governor's shoes if needed. It very rarely happens. You would say what?
Well, the impossible happened. Governor Raimondo was elevated to the Biden administration, and Lieutenant Governor Dan McKee was elevated to governor. So now we have an appointed lieutenant governor, and it's so important that qualifications matter in this race. I have an MBA. I was a vice president of a bank, and I worked at the Rhode Island Foundation. So, I feel that I'm ready to take over, in an emergency situation or in an elevation.
Okay, why not start, state rep, state senator, council person? Why not go that route? Why bang to the top?
Well,
or second from the top.
Yeah, well, I think that, I'm 46 years old. My wife's a professor at Johnson Wales. I have 3 kids, and time is now. I also saw an appointed lieutenant governor who's defund police, and she's radical, and I disagree with her politically. And I think she's dangerous because she doesn't have the experience necessary to take over in a crisis.
All right, so you're willing to go after Sabina Matos, the lieutenant governor appointed by Governor McKee. You're willing to go after her hard. You said she's defund the police. She did vote against the budget when she was Providence City Council president. She was defund the police, and then when she was appointed, she said she had an epiphany. She says, I'm not defund the police anymore. You say what?
Well, I guess it's great to have an epiphany after a crisis. I mean, Providence was on fire. We had big riots, and here she goes and she says, defund the police. Then last week, she's taking pictures with police and saying she's with them. It's what you call a flip-flop, and it doesn't work, especially with the hardworking men and women of the police force.
You said she was dangerous. In what way?
Well, I mean, if you're a policeman and you have to make you have to make a decision right off the bat, and you have to question whether a politician has your back or not, that's when problems occur. Providence is a disaster right now. No one feels safe. You have ATVs flying around, and the parking, it's like welcome to Providence is a parking ticket. So, I mean, it's just kind of like it doesn't work. And, they have a $1 billion unfunded liability, so it's pension liability. So it's just on and on and on. And if you don't have people with qualifications that want to take over and want to advocate, it's not going to work. So I just stand up for my state. I'm a local East Greenwich guy, and I grew up here. My father's a union plumber. My mom's a respiratory therapist. It's get up and grind, Gene. And I don't see that in the appointed lieutenant governor.
Right. Now, she does work with Lieutenant Governor McKee. He appointed her. It's my understanding there's been a cooling off among those two. There might be some bad blood. We'll leave that up to them. But they do appear together. They seem to want to be a team at some point. If you get in, you'd be a Republican, and let's say a Democrat prevails. What kind of team would that be? I mean, if things were frosty between him and Raimondo, what happens if you get in?
Well, obviously, I'm supporting Ashley Kalis for governor, who's at the top of the ticket for the Republicans. But I've known Governor McKee, and I'd obviously work with him and work with the legislature. I know the Speaker and Senate President with my days in the Carcieri administration. And I just want to do what's right for the state. I want to help. I have a help center. I want to navigate people through the state system and make it easier. And I want to start with small and go large rather than take on things like health care, which would never happen with the lieutenant governor's office.
You have a bully pulpit if you get in, but the duties are very limited. A lot of them are advisory. You need EMA advisory and this and that advisory. Your principal duty is to sit there. Are you telling me you want, I know you're going to say you want to do more with the office, but how feasible is that? You'd have to get legislation passed to give you things to do.
Well, Gene, when I go to Dave's Market or something and an older lady comes up to me and says, hey, Aaron, can you help me with getting the peas off the top shelf? And I bring it down. I'm 6'7", right? I'm a big guy. So what I know is that people come to me with my experience in government and experience across the state in various capacities and say, Aaron, can you help me? And something that I can make maybe a quick phone call might take them 6 to 8 weeks. And what I want to do is make that streamlined, get through the red tape, and help people throughout the state make it easier for them, especially also with long-term health care and emergency management. She's missing meetings. She's not there. She's not convening. She's not getting people experience and tell them to leave their stripes at the door and let's roll up our sleeves and help the citizens of Rhode Island. That's what I want to do as Lieutenant Governor.
Do you think she'll debate with you?
I'm calling her out right now. I want to debate her. She didn't debate. It was disgraceful. It was unconscionable. And I'm tired of people that are unqualified, hiding behind and not saying to, let's get the questions, let's get the answers. Because people right now are hurting, gas, groceries, every single day, and it's not okay. So I am asking the appointed lieutenant governor, let's debate on this show, let's debate on the radio, do whatever. And I think once that happens, people will see that qualifications matter and that Aaron Guckian will be your next lieutenant governor.
Why do you think she didn't debate? What's your thinking on that?
I think that she has a lack of qualifications. I think she struggles with questions. I think that she doesn't show up that much. And I think she thinks life's a free ride. Well, my father said life is not a free ride, and there's no such thing as a free lunch.
All right. You're running as a Republican.
Yes.
That's a heavy lift in Rhode Island. Your boss, Governor Kucheri, was really the last real Republican we had. Chafee came in, changed parties. He's ended up an independent, living out west somewhere. You know how that went. It's a heavy lift for a Republican to win anything around here.
Well, yeah, I've got a lot of support. I've raised over $100,000. I put $10,000. I got skin in the game. I'm a moderate Republican, right down the middle. Some of my favorite Republicans are President Eisenhower, President Reagan. And I think we need to build bridges right now. And I can do that, especially with my relationships up at the General Assembly. So I feel quite confident I can do this job. I look forward to it. And I can't wait to sing the national anthem come Election Day.
What do you think of Donald Trump? That's a litmus test question now for any Republican.
Well, President Trump provided structure for the economy. Obviously, he went overboard. But that's about all. I want to talk about local issues. I don't really want to talk about national issues, but that's what I would say about President Trump.
Well, I understand, but it's a fair question. You're all getting it. You're all getting it. So just refine that answer for me again. How do I leave off?
Well, I think he provided structure to the economy, and obviously our economy was doing much better than we were a few years ago. President Biden and his administration, obviously, we're in inflation. They threw bombs of money onto our economy, and now all of a sudden inflation rises.
All right.
And you know what? People are struggling out there, and with the electric rates and the natural gas, it's a disaster. We're going into heating season, and it's not going to work. So you need a lieutenant governor that's going to advocate for you and help you. And that's what the Help Center is all about.
Pro-choice, pro-life, where are you?
Well, the people have spoken about this in Rhode Island. It's codified in state law. I'm a Catholic. I'm a pro-life personally, with the exceptions. But again, that's not what the lieutenant governor is going to do. Right. And that's my answer to that question.
I know, but if you became governor, certainly it'd be a fair question.
A fair question.
And I have to ask you, if you become, basically that's the job. I have to look at you as a potential gubernatorial. So the answer on that would be?
Again, the people have spoken. It's codified in state law. And I want to work on all the other ways that we can really help Rhode Islanders in regards to the economy, infrastructure, jobs. And that's what I'm running for lieutenant governor for.
Personally, though, you're a Catholic, you're pro-life.
Yes,
I would take that.
yes, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Okay.
That's how I grew up.
And as a Republican, I looked at Charlie Baker in Massachusetts. Some people think he's a Republican in name only. Others say, no, he's a New England Republican. They have to work with everybody over here. You're a moderate Republican? What are you?
Yeah, moderate Republican. You got Governor Sununu in New Hampshire. You got Governor Baker. Guys that are right down middle of the road. They're very measured, they're practical, and they're very pragmatic.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to bring. I want to bring some stability. And if you can just imagine a lieutenant governor that's helping you with the Help Center, like I said, and I know I'm repeating it, but it's important because right now it's a vacuum. And it's not, that $1.2 million budget is not working for you. And that's why I'm asking you to vote for Aaron Guckian for lieutenant governor on November 8th.
Well, you know how to look at the camera. Now, you also are known for singing opera. I understand in your commercial I might hear a little bit, what is it going to be? Non discutare de me, Don't Forget Me? Yes. And I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, well, I'll sing an aria outside if that's what I have to do to get our debate. And God bless America, land that I love.
Well, that we're all in agreement. Thanks for coming in. Aaron Guckian, he's running for lieutenant governor.